Now you tell what are the doubts. 1, 2, 3.
3, sir.
Two metallic rings, identical in shape, having different resistivities, are kept on the top of two identical solenoids.
Hanging in experiment.
The possible relation between their resistivities and the masses. H, height of A is greater than height of B. If A is attaining more height, then definitely the current induced in A should be more, so that more force will be acting and it will be tending to go higher up. It will be repelled more. So according to me, resistivity of A can be less. Resistivity of A can be less than resistivity of B. Then the current induced will become more. If current induced is more, then it will rise up. Or mass may be also, mass of A may be less than mass of B, then also it may rise up. Any one of these things will be there. Or both also may be there. Let me check now. Resistivity is less, masses are equal, possible. Resistivity is less, mass is less, possible, not possible, not possible. B and D are possible. What is the answer given?
BD only.
So means directly without having, you don't think that there will be some numerical and we have to solve it, or means conceptually we can tell that if more current will be induced, less resistivity means more current induced. More current induced means more force of repulsion. More force of repulsion means more higher up it will jump. Okay, right or not? And also mass. If more mass, then less higher it will jump. Less mass, more higher it can jump. Question number 4.
Question number 4.
Arrangement shown, and I think it is question of IIT. Was it question of IIT or not? Question number 3.
Yes, sir. Previous side.
Then still you are not doing those questions really. Previous side is very important. Every week you should finish it. Arrangement shown which is confined in the vertical plane has two rails inclined at an angle theta with the horizontal rod of length L moves on the rails with constant speed V in the region. Rod starts moving at time t equal to 0. So which question? Question number 4. Capacitor, inductor. Which part is out? That part I can focus on. At t equal to 0, the current in the circuit is this. Is it right or not?
Yes, sir.
At t equal to 0, the current in the circuit will be this because of reason. At t equal to 0, inductor behaves like a short circuit. This is just like a short circuit connection here. Means this R and this R will be, and capacitor will be like an open circuit. So this R and this R will become in series. And D and C are at same potential. This 2 are in parallel with 0 potential. So there will be no current flowing this side. Then current will flow only from here to here and here. Then R and R are in parallel. So 2R is the effective resistance. What is the effective resistance? 2R initially. And BVL sine theta. BVL sine theta is, sorry, not 2R, R by 2 it will be. Why I am saying 2R? R and R are in parallel. This R.
R by 2.
R by 2, because these two are becoming in parallel, no? So it will be R by 2. Which two are becoming parallel? This R and this R. These two are becoming parallel. Why we are not taking others into account? Because this is a short circuit line here. If it is a short circuit, then this R and this R will be at these two, the current through these two will become 0, because and no this capacitance is acting like an infinite resistance or open circuit only. So we can assume as if this branch does not exist. Then our simplified diagram is this only, R, and these are in parallel. VVL sin theta upon R by 2. A is right answer. Next. At t equal to infinity, the current in the circuit is, after a long time,
Inductor will be short circuit and capacitor also short.
I said just opposite. My God, what was I doing really? And nobody pointed it out. But are you even understanding what I'm telling you in the classes? Capacitor initially, capacitor will be acting like a short circuit, and inductor will be acting like a open circuit initially, because I was 0 in the inductor, and inductor has this property. It will tend to maintain the same I. Initially, the inductor will act as a short open circuit. Although answer will not change, but the explanation was completely wrong, and nobody pointed it out. I don't know what you are even understanding really. This is happening initially. This is the circuit diagram initially. This means still we are getting the same result, because this R and this R are in parallel, and these are not participating because this inductor is acting like an open circuit initially. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And after a long time, just opposite will happen. After a long time, this inductor will start acting like a short circuit, and this will be the circuit diagram after a long time. But after a long time also, the current in the circuit will be again BVL sin theta by R by 2. Why? Because again, same thing only, R by 2 is the effective resistance again. Current initially and at last is same. At time t, except t equal to 0, point A is at a higher potential than B. Point A is at a higher potential than B. I think right only it seems, because current is going through this side to this side. Seems right only, but is it true or not? B is the lowest potential in this. Wait a second, how do I know it is lowest potential? I have to check properly by seeing in which direction the current is flowing. Current may be flowing in opposite direction, let us say once.
Clockwise only, sir, current.
Velocity is this side. Velocity is in which side? It is
Incline.
along the incline. And magnetic field is in which direction? That is, now it is
Cross.
cross.
Into the inclines.
Cross means into the incline.
Sir, that is not like that, sir. The whole thing is in one plane only.
But wedge cannot be in one plane because it is inclined at an angle. Okay.
Sir, that's not a wedge, sir.
Okay, understood. It is whole thing is in one plane only. It is like this, huh? Just a parallelogram in one plane only. Understood. It is moving in this way. Okay, got it. Then right. Then at t, the point which direction the current is flowing. Let us check once. Now crosses are decreasing. So it will try to create dot. Dot means anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise means this side current. This side current. This side current. This
Sir,
side
no,
current.
sir. Crosses are decreasing means it will try to increase cross only, no, sir.
Crosses are decreasing. It will try to. Oh, sorry. It will try. Yes, it will try to increase cross. It will try to create current in this direction. This side. This side. This side. This side. This side. Then yes, then A will be at higher potential than B. A is correct, C is correct. At any time except t equal to 0, the point D is at a lower potential than C. Point D is at a lower potential than C. If A is at higher than B, same way D will be at lower potential than. No, what they are saying?
D will be at
not at t equal to infinity, D and C will be at same potential at t equal to infinity. As t tends to infinity, it will be like a short circuit, and D and C will become at same potential. And D will be at, otherwise also at D is always at higher potential. So otherwise also it is wrong. So D is wrong only, because D will remain at higher potential as compared to C. So answer is A and C only, it seems. Because current is flowing in this direction, so D will be at higher potential, B will be at lower potential. Initial
Yes, sir.
circuit diagram was like this, and final circuit diagram will be like this. And current will be flowing initially in this way, finally it will be flowing in this way. Okay. Question number 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 16 column matching.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Switch S in the circuit is connected. Is it passage based or direct passage also? No passage, I think, just column matching.
In columns, but
Switch
given
S is in the circuit is connected with a point A for a long time. Okay. And then it is shifted to position B, first to A and then to position B. The resultant current through the inductor as shown is given by the curves in the graphs. 4 set of values R and L. Which of the following? First, it is connected to A and then to B. A for a long time. So when it is connected to A for a long time, then the current flowing through it will become constant, and that will be equal to V by R, E by R, E1 by R. After that, when it is connected along this side, then it will start getting discharged. That current will maintain the same direction for some time, but it will start decreasing with time, and decay constant will be
R into E power minus
yes. So starting with
E by
which
2.
current? Starting with large current or less current depends on the value of E1 and
R.
R. If R is less, then it will be more. If E is more, then also it will be more. So R is less in which case? R is less in first case and R is less in third case. So with 1 and 3, which should match? With 1 and 3, any two of these two graphs should match, 4 or 3. Also, what does these two graphs differ by? For 3, time constant for 3 and time constant 4, which is more? Time constant for 3 is less than time constant for 4. Time constant tells us lesser the time constant, more quickly the graph will try to attain the final value, lesser the time constant. So 3 is trying to attain the final value quickly as compared to 4. So time constant for 3 should be less than time constant for 4. Is it right or not?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, according to me, because time constant of 3 is less than time constant for 4, but resistance value for both of these is same. Same resistance, less time constant, more time constant. Same resistance 2 or not. Again, time for constant for 1 is less than time constant for 2. Then that will happen by choosing different values of L. L by R, time constant is L by R, no?
Yes, sir.
Means inversely proportional to R, means larger value to L here and L here.
Yes, sir.
To L here and L here.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Then we can decide now which one is, did I do opposite or? Time constant is proportional to L. Means
For 4 to
lesser
L and
value
for
is
3
lesser.
2L, L.
4 to L, 3 L.
2L, L, 2L, L. Because lesser time constant means lesser value of L. Then which answer we are getting now by this data?
Yes, sir.
Getting A? They have given that only or different given?
That one only.
It is also previous IIT question again.
Given. Yes.
It is also previous IIT question only. Means slightly modified version of that, but same question it appeared there. 17, 18.
Screen sharing.
Screen sharing. Okay, started again.
Yes, sir.
Now, for the next week, we have AC class. AC class is here. Alternating current. Alternating current I can take in this, or I can take in this. Okay, let us start in this only. So first of all, how do we represent it and what does it mean? Direct current we represent by EMF of direct current we represent this way, cell. But if it is alternating voltage, then we represent it in this way. Alternating voltage could be time varying. What function of time we don't know, but it could be variable voltage. The most common example of this which we have in our house is also is E naught sin omega t. E is EMF, E naught is a peak EMF, means maximum possible value of EMF across it, into sin omega t. It keeps on changing, but we still put positive and negative sign here. Here it is positive and here it is negative. What does it represent? It represents that when the value of sin omega t will be positive, for that time A will be at higher potential than B, because here it is plus sign and there it is minus sign. And when sin omega t will become negative, then here I had put negative sign, but negative of negative will be positive, so B will become higher potential as compared to A. Okay, that is what it means. So positive and negative is represented even for alternating voltage also. This is symbol for that. Now, how do we write the equations for it? And if I have to write some equation, same way we do as the way we do for normal DC circuits also, exactly same way. For example, if this is a capacitor, inductor, resistance, and here it is alternating plus minus, given as E naught sine omega t, sometimes omega t plus phi, anything it could be. And here some current is flowing, I. So from its positive, I will assume the current to be going. This positive is represented here. From that, I will assume the current to be going away. And then when it enters here, plus minus, plus minus, plus minus. Can you write the equation quickly? What will be the equation? Think about it. Say something. E minus
E minus IR
IR minus
minus
I into
L
dl by dt minus Q by C is equal to 0. I can differentiate it. If I differentiate it, then I get D. So I have written wrong here. Sorry. Second term is L into di by dt. Now, if I differentiate it, what do I get? I will be getting, or I may not differentiate. I may write I as dq by dt, because you know here current is entering. As current is entering, I can assume some charge q here. So this q charge will be increasing with time. So if it is increasing with time, then I have to write I as plus dq by dt. Then it will become L into d square q by dt square plus dq by dt into R plus q by C is equal to E naught now I can write it as, I told you how to do such questions. This is question of equivalent to
damping, damped,
forced
damping, forced damping.
Forced oscillations. We call it forced oscillations, although damping is also there in this, but name is forced oscillations for it. Force oscillation with damping. Damping is also there. And force oscillation means this is extra force which is acting. Because of that, we can call it force oscillations. You don't remember, so I will remind you. Such questions we used to do in this way. We used to
D equals to
assume that because it is a sinusoidal term here, I want Q should be some function of time. Now also, those who are attending the class for the first time, if you think for, I think 1 minute, you can understand what answer will be for this. If Q is a function of time and its derivative and double derivative, those terms when added with Q term, then that function should again give us the same function, which is sinusoidal function. What kind of function Q should be? So that its double derivative multiplied by some constant plus derivative multiplied by some constant plus that function divided by C, if it gives us again sinusoidal function. So don't you think that Q should also be? Q should also be sinusoidal. Yes,
sinusoidal.
exactly right. Q should be sinusoidal only. And those who are still not understanding, they are thinking it is becoming tough. How can we understand it is sinusoidal? I am telling you a very simple way to remember it. Do you know that e raised to power iota theta is equal to, I will not write iota here, I will write J. Reason is understood because I is for current here. Although I means complex number. J means here root of -1. So it is like complex number. No? So that imaginary, what we call it, iota. We call it iota or not?
Yes,
Root of -1. So, but
Yes,
this time representation is different. I will not call it I. Reason is because mostly in this chapter I will be for current. Then how can I call it I? We cannot call it I. We should call it maybe J. Okay. Otherwise, I will have to think of some different symbol for current. But that we don't do. Normally, everybody gives current as I. So let us call it as J. But it is same thing only. Just a different notation for this. So what is e raised to power J into theta? You know, I think so. That it will be sine theta plus J, means J is my root of -1 into
cos theta.
very good, very good. This boy said right. It is not sine theta. It is cos theta plus J into sine theta. Right only. We sometimes in short form we call it as cis theta. Cis theta also we call it, but here I cannot call because I for current. So okay, no problem. Whatever it is cos theta plus J into sine theta. So what is the real and imaginary part of it? Imaginary part of e raised to J theta, I can write it as
Sin theta.
means in this equation, I can say it is just imaginary part of our function. And what function we have? Exponential function. And it is a well-known fact. Everybody knows it. That exponential function is a function whose derivative and double derivative again will be exponential only. That way also we can get idea. It means it should be something related to exponential function. But which part of that exponential function? Imaginary part of that exponential function. And its argument will be complex number. Whatever way you choose, by treating in terms of complex numbers or by just treating in terms of trigonometric function, final result will be same. For the timing, I will take it like just like trigonometric function only. I will come to complex number part later on. So if I take it like a, and do you know some properties, those will also help here. Do you know property of a complex number e raised to power, if I have a, okay, let me revise a little bit of complex number. If I have a complex number r into e raised to power j theta, that is z, then here theta is the argument and r is equal to mod of z. You know that or not?
Yes, sir.
And do you know what is derivative of, what is the derivative of this dz by d theta? If I
RJ
differentiate
into
it, I
e
will be getting,
power J theta.
very good. And if I multiply by j a function, then what do I get in complex numbers? I think you know that this will be 90 degrees speed, 90 degrees rotated. When we multiply by j, do you know that or not? Real axis,
Yes.
imaginary axis. This property, I think, is a common property that when we multiply by iota, then the complex number gets rotated by 90 degrees. So if it was our complex number, it will be j times that. Is it understood? Then let us say this is our one complex number along a real axis maybe, and this complex number will be now j times that. Means it will be along imaginary axis. This will be double j, j into j. J into j will become j square. That will become -1. So it will be -1 times. So if I start with a complex number q by c, if I start with the first term, that is q by c term, then q by c, if it is in this direction, where will be r times dq by dt? First of all, I think I should simplify it a little bit. I'm multiplying by r also in this. Means not only this thing is derivative is resulting in rotation. So by dq by dt, it will get rotated this side. Okay, dq by dt will be in this direction. But what will be the magnitude of this? Magnitude will be c times this vector or complex number which you have taken, q by c. If I multiply by c, and then after that I differentiate, means it will be c times this, I think, right? Yes, c times this. dq by dt will be c times this. But if I multiply by r also, then again it will be something else. Anyway, wait a second. You can analyze it deeply and you can just think that what this will be giving us. But for the timing, I'm treating again, I thought I should be taking first like just trigonometric numbers only. So let q be something. What do you want to assume q to be? Because here, sinusoidal I have to write. So what sinusoidal I should write it? Maybe I will write it as
You're not
sine
into
of
sign of
q naught into sine of omega t plus phi is already taken there. So I should take some other thing, maybe delta. Okay, let us take delta, some other value, because phi is already there in the question only. So now I will write q by c. What will be q by c? Omega t plus delta. Let us take this direction for real part.
Same omega, sir. Omega. Same for both.
How can it be different if I am getting this function by taking this plus derivative of this plus? How can I get from sine 2 omega t, sum of sine on 2 omega t, 3 omega t, and 4 omega t, etc. From those, how can I get something which is sine omega t? How can I get that? It is also understood in this that if I want to obtain sine omega t function in the right hand side, and in the left hand side also I should start with sine omega t function only.
Yes, sir.
Right? Let's say this is our real axis, and from the real axis at an angle delta, our value of q naught was there. But q is equal to q naught into sine omega t plus delta, because I have taken like this. So it is delta from here. And what will be the double derivative of this, single derivative of this? First of all, q naught by c, let me take q naught by c, and this derivative will be somewhere perpendicular to it and in anti-clockwise direction. And value of that will be L into, what is dq by dt? dq by dt will be q naught into omega into cos of omega t plus delta, that is dq by dt. What is L times dq by dt? That will become L into q naught into omega into, there are several things coming up actually here. What we are getting L into dq by dt, let us think once.
R into dq.
That is I into L, and that is equal to, it was R here?
R, sir. Yes.
R, sorry, R here. Then what am I getting now? Can you tell something here? I'm getting L into Q, no, sorry, R into
R into
Q
Q
naught
naught into omega into cos omega t plus delta.
yes, right that. Q naught into R omega into sine
Cos.
omega t plus delta plus pi by 2. So
Sir,
delta plus
cos.
pi by 2.
Yes, yes, sir.
Plus delta plus pi by 2. Cos is converted into sine by writing plus pi by 2. Okay. That is our which term? That is a term which is this dq by dt into r. What is double derivative of q? What it will be? D square q by dt square I want to do. So again I have to differentiate dq by dt once more. What is d square q by dt square? I think it will be minus q naught into omega square into sine omega t plus delta. Right?
Yes, sir.
And that is multiplied with L. Multiply this by L. If I multiply it by L, then what do I get? I get minus q naught
L.
minus q naught into
L
L
omega.
into sine omega t plus delta. Yes, right. So where is it in the diagram? In the diagram, if I have to represent it, it is again differentiated once more, so it will be 90 degree again ahead of L. Not L. What was it? It was L into dq by dt, or I can say it was, what was its magnitude? Peak coming out to be peak value. Peak value was it was r into something. Q naught into r omega. It was Q naught into r omega, and then backside one more is there. Backside, what is that? That backside value is coming out to be Q naught L into omega square. Q naught into L into omega square. What is the resultant of these three here? Which three? This, this, and this. As we already know, these three are representing these three terms on the left hand side. One term, second term, third term. And resultant of these three will be finally, it should be E naught sine omega t plus phi. So if I do that here, if I take the resultant, this one, and this resultant, if I take, or I can do one thing, I can, this is subtracted from q by c, then I will be getting, in this side I will be getting q naught by c minus q naught into L into omega square, something like that here I'm getting it. Then in this I have to add, in this I have to, sorry, I will be getting some vector here. In this I have to add this, and then I will be getting this thing here, and that will be at an angle phi from the origin. This value is equal to E naught sine omega t plus phi. Yes, that I will be getting finally. So if I can find those angles, and it will be let me start starting from the basics. First, I will take here. Now this is important point here now, and I will come to this terms of current. We will some other relations also, and some more terms will define. First of all, now I want to define average of average current and RMS current. And average current is defined as I into dt integral upon dt integral. Average voltage, I average is like this. And as I square into dt integral upon integral dt. We can say this also, if it is commodity, we say plus I2 different currents in different time interval, I1 flow and so on upon net time T1 plus T2 up to Tn. That is I average, or I can simply say it is sigma I. What should I call this thing now?
IIT.
Yes, that II is appearing something strange. Sigma I K, and it is Tk. I think that is better. Divided by sigma Tk. That is I average. Similarly, you can write V average also, I think, for discrete voltages. Vk Tk divided by sigma Tk. Similarly, you can write RMS values of current, IRMS, that will become sigma I K square into Tk divided by sigma Tk under the root. Means sum of squares of I1 square plus I2 square. And their mean will be, if I divide by 2, and then the root, this will become IRMS.
Sir, one scroll up.
Of, if there are two currents only, I1 and I2. Okay. What does this represent? I into dt, it represents Q, total charge flown. So I can also say that I average is like total charge flown upon total time taken for the charge to flow. We can also say that this is equal to area under IT graph. What is average current in 4 seconds? Can you find? Easy. Just what we have to do. We have to
Area.
take this area. We have to take here. Once we are able to find this area, we can get it easily from there. And area we can take in separate parts, like for example, area of triangle plus of square plus of a trapezium and another trapezium. These areas divided by total time is 4 seconds. So up to 4 seconds only, I'm asking average current. If I ask up to 5 seconds or 6 seconds,
4.5 amperes.
4.5 amperes is impossible. I can directly say, because I know the current is varying only from 0 to 2. And how can the average be more than the highest value? It will never be 4.5 possible current, average current. Average current will be, I think we're finding total area.
9 by 8.
Area divided by time. 9 by 8 is possible. Area divided by time we have to take.
Area is 9. Area is
Area
4.
is 9 by 2.
Area is coming out to be 9 by 2. We can do it in this way also. See, this area I can take from here and I can put it here. Then this will become, what area it will be? It will become this total area plus one area here, one unit area here. 4 2s are 8 plus 1 9. 9 is our total area. 9 is our total area or not?
9 by 2.
No, sorry, no, not 9. 4
Nine.
1s are 4.
9 by
4
2
plus
is
half. 9 by 2 is the total area. 9 by 2 divided by 9 by 2 divided by 4. That is right. 9 by 8 will be the answer. Okay, correct only. So right, next, we can ask questions on different cases. For example, if I is given as, this is important case which I am going to do now. Okay, no, wait a second. That important I will do at last, not now. First I will do some other simple cases. First I will take, so average current for just initial current is I1 and final current is I2. Find out the average current.
I1 plus
T is,
I2 by
T is the time interval. Find out average current flowing between T1
I2
to between T1 to T2.
average
Find average
of
current
I1.
flowing between.
I2 T2 minus I1 T1 by T.
Can you find this area?
I1
This
plus
area will
I2
be
by
half of I1 plus. I think this is average current or not?
that is
Because it is a straight line graph. For the straight line graph, always average will be equal to taking the midpoint. If I take I1 plus I2 by 2, that will be average. Why? Because this area will be equal to this area. So here, this much area we have less. This much. This area we have less, and this area we have more. And this yellow area and green, this blue area are equal. So these are just we can bring the yellow one towards the blue shaded region, and then we can find the total area. So total area, this is half midpoint I1 plus I2 by 2. So yes, true that total average current from T1 to T2 interval, average current from T1 to T2 interval will be I1 plus I2 by 2. That is correct. What is average if it is sinusoidal value? Current is varying sinusoidally. What is average for first? T time, where T is less than T by 4. What is average? Number 1, find the average for this time. Number 2, find the average for 0 to, sorry, not this second one I want to find. at t equal to t by 4. Then I want to find at t equal to t by 2, t by 4, t by 2, 3t by 4, t, and so on. Find average currents in these cases. Fourth, can you find? What is the equation? P current is given as I naught. I is given as I naught sine omega t. Can you do it now?
One scroll down, sir. What are the question?
Hmm?
Question, sir.
Sure.
But
minus 2.
I not divide by. But question I so for so long it was there on the screen. Now you are asking suddenly what again the question? 1 minus cos that is numerator term, or that is the total charge form. Once I know Q, then I can say I average is equal to Q upon time. That is equal to I naught upon omega into T. Now I have asked you when T is equal to T by 4. For that, what is it? Omega into T by 4 is equal to pi by. Then average value comes out to be right or not? 2 I naught by pi.
Yes, sir.
Important relation. This is something which we should not forget because these sinusoidal terms are important for us. Why these are important for us? The current in our household that we use or in many other places is just sinusoidal current only. The generator produces a sinusoidal current, AC generator. So as a result, this case is important for us because it will come in question several times and you should be remembering it rather than every time you have to derive and it will be taking a lot of time. Which I want you to remember, not this result, I minus 1 minus cos omega t 1 omega t. You remember only for which part? Only for those parts in which it is a t by 4 time. Now, for example, if I ask you for t by 2 time, then apply common sense. If charge in this left hand side is q, what is the charge in the right hand side also in this side? Same.
Q.
Why? Because area will be same.
Yes, sir.
True or not? If it is same, then I can say charge is doubled and time is also doubled. Then charge upon time ratio, that will remain same or not? In left hand side, it is, let us say, q naught charge. Then in right hand also q naught charge, and time is left hand side is t by 4. Right hand side also t by 4. Then time is becoming t by 4 into 2, and charge is also becoming q naught into 2. So overall, it still remains same only, same average current as up to T/4, right or not? Hmm?
Yes. Yes, sir.
What is average current up to 3T/4?
By 3. Before I average by 3.
Now in 3T/4, what will happen? This part will cancel this part here. It is positive and it is negative. Positive and negative will cancel each other. So if it is Q0 in one, Q0 in second, it will be minus Q0, then total will become again Q0, but time is becoming 3 times. So whatever average we got, that average will be now becoming 1/3 times this. Why? Because the charge is becoming same only, but time is becoming 3 times. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And what about if I ask you this question, T/2 plus T0, where T0 is less than T/4? Then this point will be somewhere in between here up to this maybe. Then also I told you up to T0 how to find that. Then it is this here, I0 into 1 minus cos omega t upon omega t, that it will be. Or one thing will be always do this only and then put the limits. That is also one best way to do. Put the limits 0 to t and get the answer. No need to worry. Okay.
ఓకే అది ఎత్తుకొచ్చి దీంట్లో పెట్టుకోమ్మా డబ్బాలో మళ్ళీ పోతాయి.
Find IRMS for time interval 0 to T/4. This T/4 time interval is important for us. I will tell you reason why is it important. But yes, it is important for us. Find out what it will be. For 0 to T/4. RMS value. I square dt. This is the numerator. Let us first solve the numerator only. Then we will see that what is the denominator. Numerator part. It is also not numerator. It is actually, we can say square of the numerator. But okay, let us just write it as n, and then after that I will take root of n by d. So let us write it as n only. What is it now? I0 square into sine square omega t dt 0 to T/4. Solve it once. 1 minus cos 2 omega t into I0 square by 2 or not?
Yes, sir.
Limits from 0 to T/4. What do we get? Numerator is coming out to be
Integral not done, sir.
oh, it was not integral. Oh my god, I thought we are getting this cost term, so it is integral, but it's not integral. Now what it will be I0 square by 2 into T/4 minus cos 2 omega t will give us sine term will give us 0. What about denominator? Denominator is T by 4. What is IRMS? Root of n by d. What is that finally? I naught by root 2. RMS value will be I naught by root 2. Another important point is to be remembered for alternating currents. For alternating currents, RMS value comes out to be I naught by root 2. Can you remember it?
Yes.
What is average current for alternating, not alternating, I should say alternating sinusoidal current. Alternating could be, there are different varieties of alternating currents possible. Means, if I have to just give examples of alternating currents only, these are all in which the polarity changes. This is also example of alternating current. We call it triangular wave current. This is also alternating current. We call it square wave current. Triangular wave, square wave. But out of those, which case is more important for us? Sinusoidal one. These all are examples of alternating currents. The triangular wave, I have already found out the RMS value for the triangular wave, and for the square wave, it is very easy to find out because in square wave, it's same current only everywhere, so it will be RMS value and average value will remain same. Average value will change, I think, because it is negative also. Positive and negative will cancel some part, and then average will come out to be different. But the RMS value will be remaining same if it is, and moreover, one more thing, it is not necessary that it will be equal above and equal below. It could be something like this also. It should be varying, and how it is varying that we don't know. Means it is not necessary that it will be equally varying in both directions, positive and negative. For the time being, assume it to be like a variable current. That is enough. Variable, or we can say it is just variable current of certain kind of period. Next, similarly, what will be VRMS and V average? Same way we can define the way we have defined for this. Same way. Sometimes the situations are like this also. And so on, up to in sine omega n into t. And here it may be I naught also. What is RMS and average value and peak value? I forgot to tell, average value of alternating current will be 0 also. If above and downward area and upward area will keep on cancelling each other, and they are asking over a long time interval, then over a long time interval, always it will be
At t.
over long time interval, it will always be 0. Why? Average value
Infinity.
of this.
Infinity.
At as t tends to infinity, as t tends to infinity, I average will be equal to q divided by time taken. But q is finite upon infinite, then it will become 0. So average value of AC, which AC? That AC in which over a complete cycle q becomes 0. And in this case, it is happening like that only. Over a complete cycle, this q is becoming 0. Positive, positive, negative, negative, and it is becoming 0. So after that, it again starts becoming positive. So means at any instant of time, the maximum possible value of q will be equal to q naught plus q naught to q naught. After that, it will again start cancelling. It will again start decreasing. So even if I take the maximum possible value to q naught upon infinite time, then also I will be getting average current as 0. So over a long time period, average current in AC can be 0 if the positive and negative parts just cancel each other. But if they don't cancel, I can have alternating current which is of this kind of variation, means more in positive side but less in negative side, more in positive side but less in negative side. That kind of variation means it is a shifted sine graph. It is shifted slightly. In that kind of graph, there will be some finite average current. Reason? Because its average, the charge flowing through it in one cycle is not equal to 0. So in such cases, there will be some average current which is non-zero current. Is it okay? Average current,
Yes,
what
sir.
it will be? Average current will be 0 if the net charge flown through the circuit in one cycle is 0. Then over long time period also it will become 0 automatically. Next, so we have this. Okay, what is the average value of this? Somebody try first at least, and then after that I will discuss. Find average and RMS values over long time interval. T tends to infinity. If you want to get idea how to do, I'm giving a very simple thing first. After that, you will, I think, get idea. Why don't you just find for this first, case 1 and case 2? Find for these two cases, case 1, case 2. These two cases will give us idea how to write for this n terms also. Please find these two yourself only. I'm giving you 2 minutes time. Just integration involved in this, and simple integration that also you can do. And square term will be there. IRMS will be slightly more complicated. And what time, when I'm not mentioning what time, although I have mentioned here over long time, but when I don't say also what time, and I just ask you what is the average value, then automatically you should understand yourself only that it means t tends to infinity, it means over long time. Then we should understand that only. So if I ask you, what is the average value of current in the
Case 1 I
sinusoidal
not.
current, then average value of sinusoidal current will be 0. Average value of
Case 1
sinusoidal
I
current will
not.
be.
Case 2 0.
Case 1 you already got. What
I
is
not.
case 1? No. Please do it. It will take time, I think. Okay, you are asking. You are telling me average or RMS? Average, I think.
Yes, sir.
Average is
Yes,
correct.
sir.
Average you got it right only. Very good, you got it right. See, it is easy also. I think average was very easy. I average will be equal to average of I naught term plus average of sin omega t term. Can I do this for RMS? No, but for average I can do. Reason, because for average I
RMS
into
root term
dt
involved.
integral. In this case, it can be these two terms can be separated easily, because it is just if I multiply. See, these terms will get separated, because even if I take these terms together, I1 into sine omega t, and I multiply by dt, then it is just associative multiplication. I can take dt with I naught, and I can take dt with I1, and then I will be getting two separate terms. So average of, therefore, from here we are getting an idea. If I divide by time also now, if I divide by time and divide time here also, then I will be getting I naught into dt by dt, or total time by t, total time t, plus I1 into sine omega t into dt by total time t. So I'm sorry, what am I doing? Plus this 0 to t, 0 to t. First term is just I naught, and second term is 0 as t tends to infinity. So this is the I average value. Correct. Similarly, for second case, it will be total 0, because both are sinusoidal only. So average will come out to be 0. Correct. What about RMS? That is slightly complicated. Find RMS for these two.
I naught square plus I1 square by 2.
Anyone else also? This he said right only.
I0 square plus I1 square by 2.
I1 square.
You said right only. This is for case 1 you are telling, I think. But what about case 2?
Root
Case for case 1, I0 square plus I1 square sine square omega 1t plus 2 I0 I1 sine omega 1t into dt integral. That will be the numerator part, which will give us first term is simple only, I0 square into t. Second term we already know, this was same as we already got. Second term we solved already, because I0 sin omega is like I0 sin omega t only, and for that we were getting it simply I1 square. If you want, you can do it again, but no need. I think you should remember this thing now. Remember just that sine square omega t can be written as 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2, right or not? Right? Then average value of 1 by 2 will be 1 by 2, and the second term cos 2 omega t will have average value 0. So this will be I1 square by 2 into t. Therefore, I can directly say like that one. And in this case, in the third term, it is sin omega t term, which will be varying equally positive, negative. So overall average over long time for this term will definitely be 0. I should not say 0. I think I should say something, not 0. It could be anything, but it could be some finite value. Some finite value for the third term. But this is just numerator. When we will divide it by time, then what we get now? Time will cancel, then we are getting I0 square plus I1 square by 2 plus some finite value divided by time. And I will take limit t tends to infinity. If limit t tends to infinity, t will be tending to infinity. So this third term will become 0. So we are left with only first two terms. And I have to take root of these. IRMS will be root of these. So what do we get now? I0 square plus I1 square by 2 under the root. You said that only?
next case I1 square plus I2 square by 2 under root.
So next case he said right again. Case 2. When it was I1 sine omega 1t plus I2 sine omega 2t whole square into dt integral, that is the numerator. In this case, I will be getting I1 square sine square omega 1t plus I2 square sine square omega 2t plus 2I1 I2 sine omega 1 t sine omega 2t into dt integral. I think correct only, but now see one thing. This term will give us average 1 by 2. Second term will also give us average 1 by 2 into time. That time we will divide finally. When I will divide by denominator, it will become divided by time. Plus third term will give us depends on the situation. It is sine a minus b something, sine cos a minus b
cos a minus cos.
minus cos of a plus b, I think. So in this case, omega 1 should not be equal to omega 2. If omega 1 is not equal to omega 2, otherwise omega 1 minus omega 2 will become 0. If omega 1 is omega 2, then omega 1 minus omega 2 will become 0. If I want to write in terms of cos a minus b, that cos of 0 will become 1, and that will become again some term will come here which will be not cancelling out. So this will become 0 only. It is 0. The third term is 0 only for 0 for which cases? For omega 1 not equal to omega 2 cases. I will assume those cases only for the timing. I think I did not mention. I should have mentioned here in the beginning. Which was that? Where was it? This one here. Here I should have mentioned where omega
If
1 is
equal-
not equal to omega 2.
Sir, if equal also, we'll
No,
get
not
by
not
infinity.
not
No,
not not that. No. Then numerator is becoming infinite also. Numerator is not finite in that case. Into time is also there. Now, for example, I am getting this term and I want to integrate it. Then I will be getting this into t. Cos 0 is 1 in that case. It should come out to be, it should not come out to be cos 0.
sir, cos of omega 1 minus omega 2 into t, sir. Cos of infinity,
Cos of omega 1 and minus omega 2 means cos 0. Cos 0 is 1.
time infinity.
What?
By
It will become
time
just like sin square omega t, sir. Omega 1.
2i1 i2 into t. That will be the integration in that case or not?
No, sir, sin square omega 1 t.
Sin
T
square also
equal.
we can. Sin square also we can write.
Just before case.
Then same as before case. But why is he not understanding? I am trying to tell him from cos 0 also, why is he not understanding? What is the mistake he is committing there? Cos 0 is 1.
understood,
If you
sir.
take,
Understood.
by that also we are getting, then also it is becoming infinite because it will be giving us some constant term. Plus anyway 0. 0 for which case? When omega 1 is not equal to omega 2, then 0. Then means some finite value divided. So it will be approaching to 0 in that case. So this is what we are getting. And IRMS will be what now? Now IRMS will be I1 square by 2 plus I2 square by 2 under the root. So in general, what I am getting here, in general, when there are several such terms added with each other, this one, this one, this one, this one, and the value of RMS will be first RMS value, so I square RMS value square of RMS value of the first term plus square of RMS value of the second term plus square of RMS value of the third term and so on. What is RMS value of the second term? RMS value of the second term is, I already remembered it before, that if it is sinusoidal term, then its RMS value will be what? RMS value for this will be equal to I1 by root 2 because it is sinusoidal term. What is RMS value for I0? If it is a constant term, then RMS and average all are constant value equal to constant values only. If it is a constant value, then RMS and average both are same and both are equal to I0 only. So it has same value of RMS. It has our RMS value I0 by root 2. So what is the resultant RMS? Resultant RMS is coming out to be first RMS value of the first square plus RMS value of the second square under the root. Same way for the second case. In this case also, I1 RMS square plus I2 RMS square under the root. But I1 RMS itself is equal to I1 by root 2. So it is becoming I1 square by 2. So what will be for n cases, n such sinusoidal terms when all terms are independent of each other, not I1 sine omega 1t plus I2 sine omega 2t plus In sine omega nt. If I have to take RMS value for this, what it will be? Again, RMS value for the first square plus RMS value for the second square, that will be I1 square by 2 plus I2 square by 2 and so on up to In square by 2 under the root. That will be the net RMS value. Again, case when omega 1 not equal to omega 2, not equal to omega 3, not equal to omega n, and all these are unequal. All omegas are unequal in that case. If any two omegas come out to be equal, then what we should do? Then we will join these two terms into a single term. Let us say sin omega 1t here and other also sin omega 1t only. Then we can join these two into a single term or not?
Yes, sir.
Then also we can get RMS. For example, I can ask you this question: I0 plus I1 sin omega t plus I2 sin omega t. What is RMS now? Then IRMS will become
I0 square plus
Not
I1 plus
not
I2
square
whole
plus
square.
I1
I0
plus
square
I2
plus
whole square by
I1 plus
2.
I1
I2
plus
whole
I2
square by
single
2.
Whole square by
by 2
2.
under the root.
By 2 under the root.
This is one case. But more case, I want to take one more case here. Here I'm assuming the phases are same. But if I take phases to be different, sine omega t plus I2. Now tell me what will be RMS value? In this case also, we can combine these two sinusoidal terms into a single term. I have told you always, whenever multiple sinusoidal terms, the same frequency comes, then we can write these into single term. What is that single term we can write? It is, let us say, I1, and it is, let us say, I2, and the angle here is phi. Then resultant will be vector sum of these two. Vector sum of these two. Let the vector sum of these two be what should I call it? Give some name. Think of some name.
I12.
I12. Let us say I12. So this I12 I can obtain as what will be I12? I12 will be equal to I1 square plus I2 square plus 2I1 I2 cos phi and under the root. And that will be making some other angle here, maybe delta or something, whatever it is. We don't care now. Now there are two terms left. One term is I0 plus I12 sine omega t plus delta. And for these, again, same way only. What is IRMS? Now IRMS will be again I0 square plus I12 square by 2 under the root. Okay. Understood. How to find IRMS value for this case? What is IRMS value for this case? Average is easy to find for such cases. If it is a linear graph, I told you several times, average will be just initial value plus the final value divided by 2. But it is RMS I want to find out. For which case? For case number 1, for case number 2, in which, in case number 2, it is going from T1 to T2 time. In this time interval, we have to find what is where the current varies from I1 to I2. Find out the RMS value in both the cases. In first case and in second case. First case is particularly simple. Reason is, in first case, I can write it as just K into T passing through origin. So K into T. Then IRMS will be just KT square into dt divided by dt under the root, which will be just K into T cube by, if it is up to, this time I want to find that is up to T0 time, K into T cube by 3 limits 0 to T0, and this current here becomes I0 divided by T0 time under the root, which becomes equal to K square, K into T0 by root 3, I think, which is equal to I0 by root 3. What is RMS coming out to be for this? I0 by root 3. Right or not? Because KT is equal to current, and when time is T0, then the current becomes I0. So apply some logic and find out for second case. But I want my answer in terms of I1 and I2, and also one more thing we need, I think. Wait a second, let me check also. I1, I2. Can you get the answer independent of time T1, T2, just in terms of I1, I2? Try once. I don't know if it will be possible or not. Try once whether we can get or not. For the second case, I think you may be confused how to do. See, equation in the second case of current will be equal to, what should I say, slope of the graph, let us say, given to us as mx, m into t plus some constant.
I1 square plus I2 square plus I1 I2 by 3.
You already got that? What is the value of phi RMS for second case?
I1
Say it
square.
once again.
I1 square plus
I1.
I2 square plus I1 I2 by 3. By 3 whole root, sir.
This thing you're getting. No, not possible.
That line was imaginarily passing through origin or not, sir?
It may not be passing through origin.
Square root, sir.
It may not be passing through origin.
Took it passes.
Can we get it, or is it becoming, means if it is not passing through origin, I think we may not be able to get it in that case. Or can we? Let me try once. What it will be? I square into dt will be equal to I have written as m into t plus c. M is the slope, c is some constant here. I can determine m and t. How to determine m and t? Because I know I1 is equal to m into t1 plus c, and I2 is equal to m into t2 plus c. From here I can get the slope and the constant term.
Equation is I equal to I2 minus I1 by T2 minus T1 into T plus I1 T2 plus I2 T1 by T minus T1. Equation of I.
Plus what? Plus next.
Into T plus I1 T2 plus I2 T1 by T2 minus T1.
T2 minus T1. That it is. It is becoming complicated, I think. Let me check once. M into T plus C whole square into dt integral. What is this thing giving us now? This gives us m square t square plus c square plus 2mtc into dt integral, which gives us m square into t cube by 3 plus c square into t plus 2mc into t square by 2. Right? Next term, m square by 3 into t cube. M square by 3 into t cube. So this is, what do we get now? Divide by time. If I take numerator by denominator, then under the root. M square t square. What?
Also, you have to substitute sir, from T1 to T2.
Limits also, yes. Oh, I forgot that limits substitution. Then it will become something else. When we put the limits, what do we get? 0 to T1 to T2.
T2 minus T1 term cancels.
M square into T2 cube minus T1 cube divided by T2 minus T1 after taking numerator by denominator.
Nothing.
That will plus c square plus 2mc into t square by 2. T square by 2 means
T1 plus T2.
T2 square minus T1 square divided by T2 minus T1. Yes. That is numerator by denominator. What do we get from here?
By solving, we can get root over I1 square plus I2 square plus I1 I2 by 3.
I1 square plus I2 square plus
I1 I2
I1
whole by 3 whole under root.
Okay, very good, very good. This I got it right. Same. I think Tejas was saying that only. Tejas, you are saying right only.
directly took passes through origin.
What you do directly?
Line passes through origin.
Okay, that's why you got this. But I think otherwise also we will get same thing only. Whether passes through origin or not. Answer will be this one. I1 square plus I2 square plus I1 I2 by 3.
But the term by 2 also, sir. MC term.
What?
Yeah, you didn't write by 2, sir.
Where? Okay, here by 2.
First term also by 3, sir.
By 3 here. Huh? By 3. But yes, but after solving what he get finally, that answer is correct only and it is valid always. In fact, I have a formula which is also valid. You can verify yourself. I1 square plus I2 square plus I1 I2 root I1 I2 square plus root of what it will be something. I'm forgetting now. But I don't know what was that. Leave it. Anyway, this we are getting. I was trying to generalize it up to
Minus I1.
not minus this only. This is correct only. This only we should get, I think so.
Plus only, sir.
Anyway, the point is that if I know the initial current and final current and line is straight line, then I can get. So this is useful for us if somebody is asking to find out RMS value in such cases. In such cases, RMS becomes very complicated. Why it becomes complicated? Because if it is just average current, then it is much easier. Just take the area and find out answer easily. But if it is RMS current, then area will not help us. Then in this case, this formula can help us. That is, a current goes from 1 to 2. Time is given 1 second, 2 seconds, and then 3 seconds. And they're asking what is the RMS value in 3 seconds. Then it is very easy if you use this method. Up to 1 second, it is just DC current only. If it is DC, then what will be the RMS value for the first interval? 0 to 1 second. So I can say I RMS for the time between 0 to 1 is very easy, and that is just 1 only because it is constant DC. After that, I RMS for the second time, let us call it I RMS 1. Then I RMS for the second will be for time between 1 to 2 seconds will be using this formula now. I1 square plus I2 square plus root. Use this formula. What do we get then? 1 square plus 2 square. 1 square plus 2 square plus root of 2 whole divided by 3 under the root. What is that finally? That is coming out to be
7 by 3.
7 by 3. Root 7 by 3.
2 square, sir.
Root 2 whole
square. Root 2 square root 2. Then we are getting finally yes, that only root 7 by root 3. What is IRMS in the third interval? In the third interval from here to here. Same, then it will be again root 2 7 by root 3. But that is again not IRMS. What will be IRMS finally? Finally, IRMS can be obtained in this way. See, IRMS square in the interval 1 into time t1 plus IRMS square into time t2 plus in the second interval, this first interval, plus IRMS for the third interval into time t3 whole divided by total time t1 plus t2 plus t3 under the root. That will be the effective IRMS. Try this if you want to try by first finding the equation and so on. It will become so complicated that you can leave it in and you will not be able to do in the examinations. But this we can do easily. IRMS square into T1 plus IRMS square into T2 plus IRMS. And somebody may think why we are from where we are getting this formula. This formula we are getting because of this reason. What is IRMS total? IRMS is nothing but I square into dt, right or not? Upon dt under the root. Is it right or not? Which I can write 0 to T1. 0 to T1, let us call I1 square into dt plus, because current will be different function. So I can write I1, I2, although it is same current, but it is having different values for the first case and for the second case. Its value second case will be different, 0, T1 to T2 and so on. I am taking two intervals only for easiness, T1 plus total time will be t1 plus t2 minus t1, so it will be t2 only total time under the root. Okay, or I can say here, okay, fine, this is okay, right? Next, what I can write this thing as, I can write as IRMS square for the first interval into time t1 plus IRMS square for the second interval into time t2 minus t1, time of the second interval, upon total time. Getting this only or not? Same thing I said here, but here I am saying directly t2, not t2 minus t1. Reason is I am assuming t2 itself as which time? This time gap I am assuming to be t2, and this time gap I am assuming to be t1, and this time gap I am assuming to be t3. So when we already don't say that time does not start from the beginning here, it is t2 is a time gap already. So means t2 I have defined in this only that it is a time gap, that is t2. Then we will always use this formula to get the answer. Okay. So same means what is the idea here? Idea is this, that if I have different time intervals and somebody has given me that for the first time interval t1, for the second time interval t2, and for the third time interval t3, and for the fourth time interval t4, RMS values are given to us. Then I can get I1 square into t1 plus so on, or simply sigma ik square into tk divided by sigma tk under the root will be equal to total IRMS value that we can write, where ik is also RMS value for time tk, time interval tk. And what is tk time interval here? Tk is means some kth time interval, right? This is in general this formula, we can write all this. Understood? How to find average value similarly? I average will be I1 into ik into tk upon sigma tk, sigma, sorry, not root. It will be this one. Okay. Understood? How this formula is different from the here, understand this is, we are dividing into cases, one case here, second case here, and we are dividing into intervals, separate intervals, this case, and then this case, and then we are getting this. But before that, when we were discussing this example here, that was different case. In this case, these are not acting in different time intervals. These are all simultaneously there. But one current is I1 sin omega t, another is I2 sin omega 2t, third is I3 sin omega 3t, and so on. But these are simultaneously there. Then our formula for IRMS was becoming this. This is different case from that case which I discussed just now. Here I have how many currents in this case? How many currents do we have? N currents. How many currents do we have in this case? One current only. But that current is variable current. But it is varying, it is variable, it varies with time. And if somebody by calculation, by himself he is calculating, and he has given us that in this first time interval, IRMS value was given as I1. In second time interval, IRMS value was given as I2. These are already calculated by someone. Then I can use this formula to find out the effective RMS values. Here, but wait a second, one more confusion can arise. This IK is different, and when I am doing for this, then it is different here. In this case, this IK means average value
interval
for time interval tk. So this, because it is used for average, no? Average will be sum of average into time, and IRMS will be this only. For that, I have to take RMS only. Understood? So means these are two different cases. I should not have mixed these two up, but I hope you understand. This ends up to this, and then it is a new case again, different case, for which it is average. Okay. Is it understood now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Next we have, this is enough about average and RMS values. Other than RMS and average, now I can take some examples where I will start with the most important example I will start taking now. Which are the most important examples? The sinusoidal current is the most important. That only I will be taking. Sinusoidal one. Or maybe not that. I will come to that later on. Okay, do one thing. Tomorrow you remind me, I will take one example of square wave current also. Tomorrow I will take one example of square wave. What example I want to take? I want to take if square wave is applied across LC circuit or a RL circuit, then what kind of graphs of current will be there. But now I am taking for sinusoidal only.
5 minutes left, sir.
Not 5 minutes. I think up to what time you have class?
350, sir.
4 o'clock.
350.
chemistry.
Okay. Then sinusoidal voltage, let me introduce briefly. In this sinusoidal voltage, if I take one example of, I will take one at a time. Okay, no, not this. I will take first example of simply R. And here I will apply sinusoidal voltage to it. Plus minus. What is the value? E naught sine omega t. What is your aim to find out? What you want to do here? I'm asking this a question, and you find currents in all these cases. I will give you 3 cases. Find I in all the cases. Number 1, number 2. E naught sine omega t. Again, find I. Second case, it is L. It is R. Case 2. Case 3. Plus minus E naught sine omega t. Find I as a function of time. Find I as a function of time in case 1, case 2, case 3. I already told you how to write the KVL equation. Write that and get the answer quickly. First case is simplest because it is just R only, nothing else. So I will be equal to E naught sine omega t divided by R. Is it okay or not? Say something. First case is simple. Second case. In second case, I have to write E naught sine omega t minus L into di by dt is equal to 0. So to get I think I should integrate. I will be getting E naught sine
Cos omega t by L omega
is equal to L into di integral limits. Limits I will not put, just without limits. What I will be getting here? I will be getting E naught
cos omega t
minus by omega minus or minus s minus and L will also come to the denominator and it will become I. But now I will do something here. I want to write in terms of sine only. In terms of sine, how can I write it? I can write sine omega t minus
plus pi by 2
divided by omega L is equal to I. Last time I was getting E naught by R sine omega t, and I was so happy that it is so simple. But now it is becoming complicated for me, and I am really feeling sad about it because it is not just that I have to look for the first term. Why it is becoming complicated? Because I have to remember 2 terms here. I don't have to remember one term, E naught upon omega L. I have to remember another term, that is sine omega t or sine omega t minus pi by 2. So there are 2 things to remember now. But we do it in a very simple way. I will tell you, just we remember it. It will not be that much complicated. I will tell you some rules to remember. But we have to remember 2 terms. It is true. Always we have to remember 2 terms. This and this. In this case, I don't have to worry about omega t same. I have to only look at this, and this is same as in DC, E naught by R.
It is also like DC slightly, but somewhat different because of this. So what is similar? Similar is in that also we are getting voltage divided by something, and that's something I will call as resistance. What resistance I will call it? I will call it as sorry, we don't call it resistance. We call it reactance. We call it inductive reactance. Inductive reactance. Just it is acting like a resistance. In fact, what is the unit of this? Unit of omega L is same as of resistance. Ohm only. Same as of resistance only. So same unit as that of resistance. Okay. Otherwise, dimensionally this equation will become wrong. So it is like a resistance only. It is like equivalent resistance, but there is a different name for it. We call it inductive reactance. And how do we represent it? We represent it by XL. XL is equal to omega L. Okay. Is it understood? Okay. So you have to remember this term, this formula here. This is like, you can say it is like equivalent. I should not call resistance. Why should we not call resistance? Because resistance will be something else. The inductor also has its own internal resistance. If I start calling this thing as a resistance, then when it will have some internal resistance, what I will name that thing? I cannot call that thing anything resistance. Obviously, it is not possible. So therefore, I should call it inductive reactance only. Okay. But next for this case, what will be for this case now? It is Q. Then I can write here C. Then I can write E naught sine omega t is equal to Q by C. Okay. Differentiate both sides. I will be getting E naught into omega into cos omega t is equal to I by C. Then I get E naught divided
Sir,
by
minus, sir.
plus. Why minus?
As soon as, sir.
E naught.
Sir, integral sine theta equal to minus cos theta, no, sir.
Where is the integral? Derivative.
Okay.
Differentiating. By differentiating, we get the current, or by integrating, we get the current. Huh? Charge, differentiated charge, dq by dt is the current. Omega c into sine omega t plus pi by 2 is equal to I. Mainly, I wanted to obtain current, which we obtain now. But here I am getting in multiple only. I am not getting in the denominator. But I can write it in denominator. How? By writing 1 upon omega c into sine omega t plus pi by 2. What is this new term which we are getting again? This is the term. Now it is like same way, the way we defined it, XL. I will define it as XC. XC, and that will be equal to 1 by omega c, and it is called as capacitive reactance, which is name given to it. What we call it? Capacitive reactance. Understood? Okay. So, but here also we have to remember one more term. Which term we have to remember? Pi by 2.
Pi by 2.
So whenever there is a voltage, current flowing through the capacitor, this current flowing through the capacitor does not just depend on the voltage applied across the capacitor divided by resistance or divided by reactance, but it also depends on that it will change the value of sine omega t into sine omega t plus pi by 2. And inductor on the other hand will change the value of sine omega t to minus pi by 2. So one is causing increase and other is causing decrease in the phase. We say, what we call this thing as? This we call as in inductors, current lags voltage. Current lags voltage by pi by 2. In inductor, the current lags voltage by pi by 2. Okay. And in capacitors, the current has final phase which is more pi by 2 as compared to the phase of voltage. So we can say in capacitors, in capacitors, current leads voltage by what amount? By pi by
5/2.
So in general, now if I give you one thing here quickly, that is this is another circuit, means not a complete circuit. So many things. It has so many things. Don't listen. It has so many terms here. R, L, and C is there. And here somebody has given me voltage VR. Here somebody has given me voltage VL. And here somebody has given me voltage VC. Then I can quickly tell what will be the current in this. What will be current? This current is common, means IC is equal to IR, current through the resistance, and that is also equal to current through the inductance. What I can write IC as? IC I can write as VC divided by 1 by omega C.
1 by omega C.
This I can write as VR divided by R. This I can write as VL divided by omega L, because these are in series. But will this be equal at any instant of time? No, these are not equal at any instant of time. Reason is, no, currents will be equal at any instant of time. Sorry, I mean to say that this voltage VC will be, it will be maybe sin omega t plus phi, it will be sin omega t plus phi 2, sin omega t plus phi 3. These may be different phases. Phases are not same. But then what I'm writing here, these are like maybe peak values of the current.
Amplitudes. Amplitudes of current.
Amplitudes of the currents we can say. These are the amplitudes of the current we can say. Those will remain equal because same current is only flowing to this. But it does not mean that this will be equal at any instant of time. This voltage is VC upon 1 by omega C. That will be something else. How to write it? I can write it in this way. If somebody is telling me find out the current here, then I should, or maybe somebody has given me, okay, let us do opposite now. Let us say somebody has given me current. Let us say somebody has given me current and I want to find out the voltages. How to find? Let I be given as I naught sine omega t. Then tell me what is VC. I know now because it is sine omega t and I know the capacitor relation. Capacitor I leads voltage by pi by 2. It will lead by pi by 2. So it will become I naught sine, which will lead? Current will lead. Then voltage will lag. It will become omega t minus pi by 2. What will be VL? VL will become I naught sine omega t plus pi by 2. And what will be VR? It will be just I naught.
Sir, VC equal to 1 by omega C.
Omega C, and here into omega L, and here into R. There. This will be the values. This will be the values. So we are able to obtain the values as a function of time also. But what was required to be given? This was required first. If it is given, then we can tell. But somebody does not give us this. Somebody gives us this thing. Let us say V naught sine omega t plus phi, and I want to obtain that. Then it is a problem which I will discuss tomorrow how to do that. Okay. But if the current is given, at least you can determine all the values, right? Or not all the voltages. But the point is sometimes they may not give us current. Mostly they will be giving us the voltage here. Then how to find out the current in that case? That is now important thing which I will discuss tomorrow. Today time is not sufficient. Okay, then I'm ending it now.
Sir, scroll up, sir.
Okay.
Not visible, sir.
What?
Mm.
Okay, tomorrow I will discuss. Don't worry. Tomorrow I will discuss.
Okay.
Okay.